Digital storytelling is a term that has really taken on a lot of different meanings over the last 10 years. We take our meaning here at UMBC from the workshop process that was pioneered by Joe Lambert and the Center for Digital Storytelling in Berkeley back in the 90s. What they created was a 3-day workshop where individuals with no technological background in movie making could come in and tell a personal narrative about their life and create a little 3-minute video movie. One of the most unique examples of what we've done with digital storytelling here at UMBC would be the Charlestown Retirement Community Project. After 5 years of doing the project at Charlestown, we decided to try something a little different this semester.
We'll be working with all the participants, the elders and youth, in active listening, because so often when we listen to people, we think we know.
The Erickson School of Aging Studies was founded in 2005. The idea was to create a place where students could come and learn how to be leaders and managers in the field of aging services. I got the idea about doing the course of digital stories with the freshmen and the residents of Charlestown because I'd always been looking for a way for college students to really see what the lives are of older people. I wanted them not just to hear about it through a grandparent or read about it or even take a course that we give, but I really wanted them to form relationships and also especially to see what they have in common. So I'd always had this idea of getting elders and students in the same classroom. The challenge was what would they do if I got them together? And the idea of sharing wisdom about life, especially around transitions, really appealed to me because these are both populations that were going through transitions in life. And when I saw the original digital stories, I was very moved by them and I thought this would be a perfect medium to get these students together.
If you think it's too noisy in here and you want a little more space, feel free to go down to the dining room. You know, just find some space. You know, it might be a little more, you know, easier to communicate than in a room this size. So the process that we typically do, you know, in the workshop is we initially get the story down on paper in that 200 to 300 word range, and then we do what's called story circle, where essentially we go around the room and everybody shares what they have written. And what we find is when you do that, you know, we give each other, you know, constructive feedback. That the stories change a lot because what happens is when you share these stories, it brings up ideas and memories and new approaches that people may not have thought of taking. So it's very much a kind of group collaborative process in the story circle.
It was too quick. I closed my eyes and sank into a thoughtless, but a drown sounded in the back of my mind. Allie? Mm-hmm. I laughed at the story.
When we're looking for like points of change in our life, for like us as the like kids in college or whatever, we're looking to things that happened before when we were younger and when we were still like discovering the world and trying to understand how the world works. So for a lot of us it was just us and the world coming into contact and trying to figure that out. But with when we had the story circle with the older people, it was more like internal struggles or coming to terms with yourself.
I met a Texas girl who liked me, who is this one here, and we got married. And she had was a teacher and she had a good job, and I could go to college and learn something. And they were also very nice. In 3 years, they made me a chemist with a master's degree.
Did you go into Ellis Island, or did you fly into the United States?
Okay, I can't hear him.
He came by boat. He wants to know if you went to Ellis Island.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was a big ship.
Were you and your family in Belgium when the Nazis invaded?
Yeah. No. And they killed the family. My father was managed to survive. We were in a little town in Montagnac, and the police had heard that that was going to happen, so they told us, you know, you better go to hiding somewhere.
Intergenerational relationships are critically important, and we know that in this society those are getting less and less frequent as families move around, and so people don't grow up with their grandparents right around them, as I did.
I learned to talk to seniors. I never really had a chance to talk to seniors apart from my grandparents and parents, and finally having a chance to work with another senior and kind of get a part of their story, I guess. Being able to put that into pictures that can be viewed anywhere is the main thing I learned, I feel.
It's better to have tried while you're still alive. Lately, I've come to understand that life presents ongoing opportunities to experience new vistas. Each new adventure has either been successful or ended in failure.
It was definitely a lot more effective, like emotionally, when you're doing someone else's story, because when you go through it, if it's your own story, you just say, okay, this tells the point, there you go. When you're telling someone else's story, you want to get every single fine detail just to the exact point where when the person sees this, they'll just have a light bulb go off in their head saying, yeah, that's exactly how it went. And just the feeling when you're doing someone else's story is a lot greater and a lot more happy for, like, a lot more of a successful feeling when you're finished with a story about someone else than a story on your own.
When we met the first time after I told my little story, and the first time, and Derek and Jason decided they wanted to work with me, I gave some thought to what would be a good transition. And I came up with the idea that the transition for me would be coming to Charlestown. However, that's not something that they were thinking of. They were thinking of more adventure. And I had a story that struck a chord for a couple reasons with them.
How strongly the threads of childhood remain in my head. How fresh the joy of a dewy spider web spread across my window in September. How wide and rich the landscape, and how buried the focus, from the exploding universe of stars to the splendid mystery latent in a speck of poppy seed. It is nothing less than our inheritance of Genesis. The wonder remains.
And I really like that, just being able to share this story with other people so that they could relate, because a lot of people have things in common, especially with transitions. When someone is narrating their story, you can get this feeling behind it, being able to tell a story with visual aid and as well as audio. So you have this overall feeling. It's kind of bringing the experience back to life. Like you're like traveling back into time and just be impacted by other people's experiences so they can either learn from them or just be inspired by them.
Life is a series of transitions. Ages, residences, schooling, philosophies, careers, people, and beliefs.
So intergenerational learning is becoming a big opportunity in aging education. We want the wisdom of the older generation not to be lost. And in fact, it's often easier for students to hear things from somebody their grandparents' age than from somebody their parents' age. Grandparents have more credibility. So we thought this would be another way to really add to the knowledge base of students coming to UMBC. Also, the idea of adding two literacies at one time. One is digital literacy, which comes in the production end. And the second is in aging and development literacy, understanding what aging is going to be like. And these students will be living with aging baby boomers for the next 30 years. So we think it's very important for them to understand that not only the generation that came before them, but the generation that are the children of these elders that they're going to be working with, and how did their history and experience shape the lives that will be a big impact on American society.
I always feel like a kindergartner when I get with the students. Well, we live back in BC, it's our age group as far as the technology is concerned. I was without pictures on my story totally, and she just went to work, you know, and captured pictures of my old university and my old city, you know, as well as the modern ones. And she just came up with very good visuals. It was wonderful to watch her develop the story. It may be my story, I wrote it, but she really put it together in a form that, you know, that it captures people's attention, I think.
Yeah, I really think it's good that we both got to see a bit of each other's lives. That we both got to have a sense of how things work, like behind the scenes of the video itself.
Yes, yes, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it a lot.
Especially coming here and seeing how you carry your life around here and the responsibilities you have. It's very nice knowing that you live a good life and you're happy with it.
Oh, we absolutely do here at Charlestown. We live a great life. We have lots of activities, and this is one of the best, really. Yeah. It's really one of the best to connect with the students at UMBC in this way. I don't know, where else in the world would that happen? Mm-hmm. That I, in my 70s, would be working with a freshman student on a story about my life. I never thought that would ever happen.
I think we did learn from each other.
Yeah.
And I found that interesting and informative because you're in a different world than I am as far as your daily activities and interests and goals, of course. I don't have too many goals. Play ping pong, I hope I do well. But, I was glad to be part of this.
Me too. I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot, and I found out there's like a lot I can relate to, and I'm in college and I'm trying to figure out what I want. So I found your story really helpful because I don't know what I want to be. I don't even know how to go about making that choice. So like, hearing about how just finding something that like you feel a passion for and proving to yourself that you can do it despite opposition, and then like looking at what's going on in your life and what other people need and what you need.
And I picked the smallest one. I wanted to name her Fluffy also, but that seemed unfair. So I called her Fluffy Ann, a dog's name and a girl's name. And then I could still say, "Here, Fluffy."
We're always impressed when we go to Charlestown, just how rich the experience of the residents are. The stories that come out of the workshops can be funny, they can be poignant, they just sort of cover the full range of human experience in a lot of ways. Again, the most difficult thing is, you know, getting this down to a 3-minute piece, because, you know, you can't tell your life story in 3 minutes. So being able to hone it down to, you know, to that one thing that, you know, if I could tell you one thing, what would it be? You know, what is that one life message? And that's what we try to get at, you know, with the residents. And they just have just an incredible diversity of experiences. And it's really just a unique opportunity for the students to experience.